Hello folks, thank you for checking out Generic Crafting System. This system gives you handy tools for all your item creation needs. It has some generic crafting features such as setting level requirements, item requirements, recipe learning requirements, and so on. It also gives you some functions that you're gonna use to create your own crafting systems. These functions include getting a breakdown of all the craftable items, getting the outcome of a certain crafting operation, getting the change in your inventory after a certain crafting operation, and so on. In that sense, it will not give you a ready-to-use system, but it will provide you with almost everything that you may need when creating a crafting system in your games or projects. With that said, let's jump to the actual demonstration level. Sorry about that. So in this level I prepared two kinds of crafting systems. The first one is a list-based crafting system like you'd find in MMORPGs, where you choose the desired craftable from a list and it gives you all the relevant information. Let me quickly demonstrate it. So we click the health potion, it shows us the items that we are lacking and the level, items that will be consumed, etc. The second one is, allow me to quickly show it. So the second one is a first-person shooter-based crafting system. It displays the holographic image of the desired craftable in front of you. There we go. So that car is actually a health potion. And this is considered an alchemy station. This is a weaponsmithing station, and this is a spaceship yard. So you can craft spaceships here. Now, I've prepared in this system a very primitive inventory. You can just disregard it completely. It's there to for demonstration purposes, and the goal here is to craft ourselves a Death Star. As you can see, we have the recipes and so on. Now I've taken care to make these as various as possible to show you that the system is actually generic. For example, let me get the cursor. So for example, Death Potion has both a level requirement as well as specific items, whereas the Health Potion requires neither a level nor any specific items. It just requires any vial and any base. The same goes for all the other items, and the Death Star requires a recipe. So I've tried to make these as varied as possible. Also, some of these are class blueprints, some of these are static meshes, some of these are skeletal meshes, and some of them are actors. So that's what makes the system generic. It will fit into any kind of inventory system you have in your projects. Now let's go ahead. So we're gonna need to achieve level 5 in alchemy. To do that, we're gonna have to craft health potions. Now let's choose health potion. We can create a total of 8, it says. So what happens if you try to create 9? It shows us the items that we're lacking. So we're gonna go ahead and create 8 of them, and it almost gave me the level requirement. Let's add just a few more. Alchemy, health potion, we can create 6 of them, and there we go, 5.5. So now we should also be able to create the Death Potion. To do that, we're gonna need an Angry Vial and Essence of Death. Now let's actually do that in the first-person shooter style. So this is the Death Potion, this is the Health Potion. You can scroll back and forth between them. You want to create this, there you go. And as soon as it's there, where is it? Here, Death Potion. So the rest of the items are a bit mixed. You can check that out yourselves when you have the system, but I'll just quickly add the required items. So allow me to go to the blueprint, which is actually located in the character. Now, as you can see, this is all structured and commented and tooltipped and so on. So we're gonna need one invisible saber, and I believe the rest, we need an invisible saber, and we also need a Death Potion. There we go. So let's begin. Oh, so it also requires level 8 in spaceship smithing. We can either create a lot of hobbles to achieve that, or we can just enter it here. Level 8. Here we go. now we're still gonna have to learn how to craft it, so let's consume the recipe and let's press L to learn it. Now we should be good to go. Spaceship smithing, Death Star, here we go, we can craft it. Let's do that in the first person shooter style. We can craft the Death Star, amazing. Now we can still scroll back and forth between the Hubble and the Death Star, and the reason for this is, let's see the recipes. So that while the Death Star requires certain items, Hubble, Invincible Saber, Death Potion, the Hubble itself requires any generic items from those categories. So when we can create the Death Star, we can also create the Hubble, and that is exactly the issue here. Now when we press F, boom, there we go, we have our Death Star, and it was not as scary as I would have liked it to be, but well, what can I do? Okay, now a few remarks. So you can actually set the level with which you gain levels, with which you level up in that crafting class. What I mean is, when you create a certain item, let's craft alchemy health potion. Now you can see that the level up is pretty low, and it gets even lower. The reason for that is all of it is tied to a curve, and by changing that curve you can choose the trend with which you gain levels in a certain crafting class. So it's all under your control. And well, I believe this is it. As I've said, this system works with any inventory style you have. That's what makes it generic. It will work with static meshes, skeletal meshes, custom blueprints, and actors. I don't think you can have any other inputs or outputs in your inventory. And this is it. Thank you for checking it out. If it's on the voting board while you're watching this video, I would really appreciate it if you could drop down a voting there. If it's being sold when you're watching this, well, go ahead and buy it. Thank you. Goodbye.